So most of us have been here just shooting bullet after bullet into these bullet sponges to no avail. Well, what if I was to tell you there's an easier way to take these guys down? And not only that, it will turn what I used to think was one of the worst missions in the new missions into one of the most fun if you're doing co-op. This isn't 100% foolproof, so it will possibly require a little bit of adaptation if things do go wrong, but don't worry, I will have some tips and tricks as well just to help you kind of navigate this mission, as it can be tough if things go wrong. I want to give a quick shout out before I get into this to Shijo Ashkov 839, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but they did leave a comment in one of my last videos kind of giving this a tip that I'm going to show here, as well as some other tips as well, and I really appreciate when people leave tips like this in the comments because it helps us all, so appreciate it. But as I mentioned in the overview video, these missions do seem designed for people playing in co-op, or at least with a posse. So I'm going to start with like how you can do this in a posse, but don't worry, we're going to cover how you can do this on your own as well, and there's going to be other tips that will help you out if this does go wrong for you. So look, first of all, this is very simple. There is an armored cart with a machine gun down in this location right here. You can use eagle eye as well to highlight it from a distance pretty easy, as it will kind of flash white when you're in eagle eye. And if you and your posse member get into this, you can just ride around and make short work of all of the robots. Personally, I like to work my way from area B or down to area C and then over to area A, just because that's where you're going to be finishing off. You also kind of want to keep moving if you can, as sometimes you can get burnt out of it. You're not invincible in this cart, so it is worth keeping a mind's eye on some of the robots that are spawning around if you can, and definitely communicate with the posse member you're with just in case there's a robot that's coming up that the person gunning cannot see. Also, when you're shooting, keep an eye on your own health as well. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's like ricochet bullets or something, but you can just see your health going down while you're using the machine gun, and you can just die for no real good reason. So just keep an eye on your health while you're using it, just in case that happens. Having another person with you as well will make killing the robots that are placed indoors a bit easier. That way you can have the other person, who's probably riding the cart, just run in and grab the robot's attention, and when they come out they'll find you sitting there in the armored gun and just taking them out. It makes life a lot easier. Also, if you want to have a bit of fun, you could have someone just run around the place while you try to pick off the robots before the robots kill them. But honestly, this was a hell of a lot of fun playing co-op, so I'd highly recommend to play it if you can with somebody else. But not everyone can find someone reliable that they can jump on every time to play these things. So if you are on your own, what I would recommend here is there is an NPC right beside where that Gatling gun is, and if you free him, he will run down and he will actually ride the cart for you, and that can be very, very useful in taking out the robots. It's not as good as if you had somebody actually doing it for you, but the NPC it'll get you most of the way there anyway. And that's where I go with the first tip, which is kind of release the NPCs where you can. Some of them are more useful than others, like there's one here that will run up on top of the balcony over the house, and they will kind of snipe off robots, which is quite valuable. If you're running around while they're chasing you, they'll start picking them off for you. You can interact with this robot here sweeping, and they will run and start helping you with a bow and arrow in the middle. Again, I actually thought they were just running away when you interacted with them, but no, they're helping out in the fight. Another tip I can give you is you can use your horse to kind of just knock these robots over and then start shooting them. It will do damage as well when you knock them over, but look, this can definitely help you, particularly with enemies that are firing arrows at you, just to knock them down, and then you can start shooting them. It'll take time if you're shooting them, but it's better than dying, I guess, really. The other thing I would say is make sure your cards are kitted out to do damage. Winning Streak is a great card here because it will increase the damage the more you shoot them, which you will notice a difference if you have that equipped. But look, it'll just take more time if you don't have that card or it's not leveled up correctly. Other than that, the combat abilities will kind of vary depending on your playing style. So I like to dual wield a lot, so I would throw on the Gunslinger's Choice, just to give me a little bit more damage there. Also, the Horseman card can be pretty useful if you're going to be trying to use your horse a bit more, as it'll give you a bit more damage as well, but just those fire arrows can really take you off that horse pretty quickly. The Short Game card can be very useful here as well for like the revolvers and shotguns, especially if you're going to take out the long range enemies first, and then you can utilize my next tips to kind of help you take down those enemies and get a little bit more damage so you can take them down faster. For example, if you are getting chased around by robots and it can be kind of difficult to run, turn and shoot, an easy way to do this is just find one of these kind of buildings where you can climb up on it and just shoot them from a height. As long as they don't have an arrow, you should be fine here. And if you are getting picked off by arrows from a distance, you can just maneuver yourself to the other side, and that'll buy you a little bit of time, and you can just take down a robot or two that way. Also, definitely make note of the two miniguns that are here in the map. They're kind of in the center area, which is useful, but you do want to kind of remember where these are, because if you are being chased down by a robot, what I actually found could be helpful is call your horse, jump on your horse so you can create a distance between you and the enemy, then jump on the Maxim gun and take them down while they're coming towards you. This is very, very useful, so definitely make use of these, and it will save you a bunch of ammo. That said, you will want to stock up with as much ammo as you can coming into this, especially if things go wrong. And look, honestly, even with the armored cart, things can go wrong, so it's definitely best to come prepared here. And I'm not sure if this is a bug or what, but when you're trying to deal with the last robots, obviously the main strategy would be to kind of lead them out and take them down like you would do any of the other robots. But sometimes they will not come out of the house. If that happens, I think the best thing you can kind of do is take cover at the side of the door, and then open the door, and then you can kind of shoot in at them. Just be careful that you don't get meleed that way. And when you're taking the last one on upstairs, you can kind of do the same thing, but after a while he might pull out a bow, and if he does pull out a bow, you're just gonna have to hop in and out of cover and just time it. He'll fire and then he'll have to reload, and on the reload just pop off a shot at him, and that it'll take a little bit of time, but if you got winning streak on, you got Deadeye, you should be able to do this, I'd say. On standard, this is a lot easier because you can kind of see the enemies on the map, and that really does make a difference, because if you get caught in that Gatling gun by a robot, they'll just pull you out of it, or it really does help to see them coming. So definitely keep an eye on your surroundings, but if you have someone helping you, if you can, definitely communicate with them, just so you can know. They can tell you there's one there coming towards us from the front, they're coming from the manor. Just communicate with each other, and that'll make life a hell of a lot easier for you. And that's pretty much it. This mission used to be a complete head wreck, and you just ended up costing you so much in ammo to do it, that I think with these tips and tricks, it should help you not only pass the mission, but enjoy passing the mission. At least you have a fighting chance now. And if you have a posse, why not just fire on this video to them? They can watch it, you're all on the same page, and then this mission, it becomes a lot more trivial and a lot more fun, I think, especially when you start pushing up into ruthless mode. It's going to be fun, but now it feels a little bit more fair. I wish Rockstar had kind of nudged us a little bit more to show us where that was. It does feel like the Gatling gun card is a bit hidden, but look, now we know. If you have any tips or tricks in this mission or any of the other new missions added, why not let us all know in the comments, and yeah, I appreciate it if you do. Alright people, I'll catch you all